collected 57,862 signatures on the Blumenthal race. I voted for myself. Like my father voted for me. My sons voted for me. I had staff of 20. They voted for me.
Yep.
And I got 0 votes. Can you explain that?
No, I can't.
Well, you need to.
Have you talked to anybody at SEEC about filing a complaint?
They are criminals at the SEEC, and you're a commissioner. So I need an answer because this stuff is escalating, and now there are people, for example, people who voted for me that got committed to whiting for saying they voted for me. Not just one person, okay? Multiple people. And one of them was murdered.
Well, that seems pretty heavy.
Yeah, well, here we go. I got kidnapped and tortured. And, yeah, I filed numerous complaints with the SEEC. One complaint was that a blind woman was assaulted. And how does an election poll worker who's blind get assaulted at the school on election day by the candidate and his daughter? Can you explain how a blind woman would be assaulted who volunteered to work at a polling station, and why no one investigated?
Were the police called at the time of?
Oh yeah, and they said it's a SEEC matter.
No, it's not.
Yes. Oh, I interviewed them both. They had 2 cops at the school.
What city was this in?
Norwalk.
And that was the answer of the Norwalk Police Department?
They said it's beyond our control. Anything happening at the school is an election enforcement item.
Okay.
Well, not okay. Not okay.
No, it's not, but yeah, I understand.
Well, I want an answer.
I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to find out what the background is.
Okay, so here, that's one of my complaints, okay? Now, the other ones are just as bad. Now, I did it every year. I did 1 complaint a year, okay? I wasn't trying to kill any, I wasn't trying to kill the issue. I was saying, hey, in 2018, this happened. In 2020, this happened. In 2021, this happened. Now, here we go. I'm on the ballot. Got 0 votes. And I asked everyone who voted for me to take a picture of their ballot. And guess what they did? They did exactly that. They sent me pictures of the votes for me. Now, my buddy Andrew did it, my buddy Heather, people I work with. Johnny, I voted for you. I sent you the picture. Okay, great. Okay, I still got 0. How is this possible?
I don't think it is possible. That's why I'm going to make a phone call.
Well, I was the candidate, and I ought to know.
Well, I guess, yeah.
And now they did it. Hold on. They did it 3 times, not once. They did it in 2020.
They is SEEC.
No.
Did not respond to your
The complaint I wrote about was against a guy named a Secretary of State staffer. One complaint dealt with Ted Bromley. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay. Ted Bromley stole my signatures that I gathered and gave them to Ken Dixon at Hearst Media. Original election signatures. Thousands of them.
Okay.
Guess what? I had 36 handicapped people from Ridgefield that I went to an event for, okay? Went to a baseball game for the blind, hosted by the, National Federation of the Blind. Met 36 people from Ridgefield who are handicapped who signed my petition.
Okay.
They're all missing. Then I went to an event.
What's missing?
Every signature of every handicapped person. Those are ADA violations, okay? That's serious.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so then I went to my own Norwalk rep, who's blind.
Okay.
She gave me 30 signatures.
Okay.
They're all missing. So here we go. I gave them 57,962 signatures. You know what they did?
Go ahead, tell me.
Well, no one knows. So keep in mind this. Now it's getting hairy. I'm just telling you the simple stuff. So I had a campaign manager. Okay, in 2024. His last appointment that anyone's ever seen him was with the Secretary of State on July 3rd, 2024. He is missing, presumed dead. He was the last person he went to see was Stephanie Thomas, staff. I filed a police report in 3 different towns, including the Bridgeport State Police. Where is he? Because he's the one that gave him the signatures. Now, I went 3 times and gave them what I had. The staffer that I'm talking about was the campaign manager for Dr. Oz. I hired him from Pennsylvania because he called me one day out of the blue and said, "Hey, you got a winnable seat here." I said, "Great." He got in the car. He came to Connecticut, and he started working, gathering signatures. We collected signatures for the America First Party. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, America First is a political party. It's in 14 states. And it just means you put America first. It's not Republican. It's not, it could be working families. It could be whoever. You want to put America first, you change your party interest. So I collected all the signatures for that, and I gave them to Ted Liu. Do you know who Ted Liu is?
No.
Okay, he's the guy in charge of petitioning candidate signatures at the Secretary of State.
Okay.
I gave him all the signatures 3 times for a party called the America First Party. They're missing. Now, I kept originals. I kept copies of the originals. I drove to his office and I handed him the documents and I videotaped the whole thing. And I was with my campaign manager, who is presumed dead, though there's no mention of him in any police report, nowhere. So I went to Norwalk. I said, "Hey, the guy's in Norwalk. I'm in Norwalk. This is my, I need to file a police report. Missing persons, the last person, he's been gathering signatures for me." Now, what happened was the cops picked him up 9 times. And he explained, I'm a canvasser. I'm a professional campaign manager, and I'm working for Johnny Flynn in Norwalk. And they said, "Oh, Johnny Flynn's trouble, Oh, yeah, well, I'm trouble. Okay." To them. But, I had this, I hired him. I paid him. He disappeared. I wrote a SEEC complaint. Where the hell did it go? I don't think there's any more graver issue than that, but I got other complaints that are worse. Okay, I'm going from, hey, a blind woman was assaulted, to, okay, now here's a murder. I collected 135,000 signatures. Took me 4 years. Right? I did it mostly myself. They came back to me and said the people were dead. Then I filed a lawsuit, and the marshal said, "We're glad your plaintiffs are being murdered." I said, "Excuse me?" The marshal at the courthouse said that.
Okay.
It's a problem, right? That the marshal is glad that my campaign manager got murdered. That's a crying shame. Well, what I'm about to tell you is the lawsuit I'm currently in. I'm a plaintiff. 16 plaintiffs are murdered. 16, including my campaign manager. Now, I said I got force medicated. I told you that.
No.
They arrested me in the courtroom. They said that I criminally trespassed in Bridgeport Criminal Court, which is impossible to do. It's a public place. I said, hold on a second. I didn't criminally trespass. They said, yes, you did. Locked me up, sent me to Whiting. Are you familiar with Whiting?
Yeah, I know Whiting.
Okay. They injected me daily, 5 times a day, with what? I don't know. I'm a type 1 diabetic. You know what that means?
Yep.
It means I don't make insulin, right? Okay, they put me on a waffle and pancake diet, pure sugar, and they denied me insulin for 50 days. And it affects my blood. I'm practically blind because sugar collects in different people's organs when they're high sugar, right? So some people get a heart condition, some people go blind, some people lose the feeling in their feet. And my doctor said, hey, it screwed up your eyes. Okay? So here we go. I got sent to Whiting. I got force medicated. Have you ever heard of Zyprexa?
I've heard the name, yep.
Okay, that's called the diabetic killer. Maybe people don't know that, but I know that because I read the book called the Zyprexa Papers. Okay, Eli Lilly made a drug. They weren't allowed to give it to diabetics because it would cause heart failure. That's what they gave to me, and they cut me off on my insulin. So it's a heavy-duty burden. Well, I'm laying some heavy-duty stuff down, right?
Yes, you are.
Well, here we go. The SEEC needs to be shut for their involvement in what they did to me. And they need to go to jail. I'll keep you out of it because you don't know me. You never heard of me. You have nothing. I have no axe to grind. You're a commissioner. Okay, fine. But tell me where my frickin' signatures are. Because guess what? I'm now running against Himes. Because I ran against Blumenthal, Murphy, and I ran in 2020, right? Those are federal races. All the votes are missing. I have a much better chance to beat Jim Himes than Richard Blumenthal. Incidentally, Richard Blumenthal offered me a $100 million bribe 13 months ago, and I did not accept it. Okay? Now, if there's any question about it, I recorded it. How about that? So it's part of the lawsuit, which the marshals would not serve because they don't listen to federal law. It was a federal lawsuit. They, it's a sanctuary state. I get it. But now that I have 16 people murdered, I have been talking to the feds, and I've been talking to them once a week for a year. They come to dinner on Sunday nights, 3 of them. So they've been coming to our house, and they didn't want to do anything either. Frank Recchia from News Channel 12 comes to my house every Sunday for a year and has dinner with us. We had Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, you understand? The guy comes to our house because he's a friend of my family. And eventually, this story is going to get out. And the part about, so here I go. I got sent to Whiting. I was telling you, right? I had an advocate. Her name was Elizabeth Harding. Okay? I went to Whiting from March to August 18th. March 24th to August 18th. 149 days. I had a advocate at Whiting. Her name is Elizabeth Harding. She was murdered on July 3rd. She was attacked in the Whiting parking lot. She wasn't killed that day, but when she came to see me, she got attacked. She was my Whiting advocate. The police said she was she committed suicide. Okay? She got beat to death with a hammer in the back seat of her car, and I have the autopsy. So whoever's lying to me is going to jail forever. So we're trying to
Well,
work everything out.
I'm going to make a phone call. You've called me. You've indicated that SEEC did not perform as it should.
No, and they actually said that I solicited signatures from dead people.
Okay.
And then they gave the file to Ken Dixon, who wrote an article in Hearst magazine, Hearst Media,
Yep.
saying I was a Don Quixote and I was following windmills. And guess what? Ethan, you know who Ethan Book is?
I've heard the name, yep.
Okay, he was murdered. Okay, he's a plaintiff in our lawsuit. He ran for Senate against Blumenthal, and guess what happened to him? Ken Dixon, the same guy who wrote the article about me, cut and paste my name into his article. So in other words, when Ethan Book 8 years ago ran for Senate, he ran against Blumenthal. Ken Dixon said he was Don Quixote. Same article. He cut and pasted my name into. And they sabotaged his campaign. But by the way, Ethan was a friend of mine, and we talked a lot. I mean, he was a very hard guy to get along with. Truthfully, we argued a lot, but we always agreed, he's a conservative guy from Bridgeport. I'm from Norwalk. We're in the same county. We have to get along to get anywhere. I get it. Ethan was in perfect health. And he was sent to a hospital. And he died. That's what they tried to do to me.
Okay.
So I sued the doctor. And
get some background on this. Don't keep talking now.
Okay.
I'm going to make my phone call. I'm going to see what people know about you and what might happen with information that you filed with the agency. So let me do that, and we can talk again.
Cool.
All right?
I will keep you out of this problem if you're fair to me. That's all I expect.
Okay. Fair enough.
Enjoy.